Welcome back to Yahoo Finance. So, you know how you feel about social distancing and wearing a mask and the president and maybe the people that you sit down at the dinner table with. But what are other Americans thinking? Rick Newman has been diving into a new survey to give us an idea of what Americans think about many of these issues. Rick.
Hey, Jen. So this is a big study by the Voter Study Group. Anybody can Google it online. Just look for the Voter Study Group study. And they broke this down by party, and they asked people how comfortable they're going to feel doing certain things when the economy reopens in their state. And there's this big gap between Republicans and Democrats, which I find very interesting. So would you be comfortable getting a haircut? 66% of Republicans say yes, but only 50% of Democrats. Comfortable going to a dentist? 62% of Republicans, 53% of Democrats. More Republicans are willing to attend a funeral, eat at a restaurant, go to church, go to a wedding, go to a mall, and so on. So on every one of these questions, basically getting back to the things we used to do normally and going out in public, Republicans are more willing to do it than Democrats. And I scratch my head trying to figure out what this means. Are Republicans like more daring or more stupid? Are Democrats more timid or more careful? We're actually seeing this playing out in real time in Wisconsin, which has had this big spat between the Democratic governor and Republicans who control the legislature. That state is now open on a county by county basis after a Supreme Court ruling. And the bars are filling up in some parts of Wisconsin. So my guess is it's mostly Republicans.
Rick, is there any sense of how this breaks down geographically? I mean, is it Democrats in a blue state, Democrats in New York near the epicenter answering these questions versus a Republican in Nebraska? Is there any sense of that?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if you happen to be in an area that's been more affected by this, then you're going to be a lot more reluctant to go out. And that makes sense because you're seeing the real effects of it in your community. That's not necessarily a blue state, red state things because there's been a significant outbreak in rural Georgia, for example, that's a red state, and in Louisiana, generally a red state. And I think people are more reluctant there. But, we keep talking about the various reopening strategies state by state, and we've really got a giant experiment going on here. Are we going to be able to pull this off, or we can go back to doing normal things and still be able to contain the virus? Or are we going to have these other resurgences? And, I think if the virus hits places it has not hit yet, I think you'll quickly find people are more willing to stay at home and do what the governor says.
Given that that's the data, though, that's being shown and what Republicans are favoring right now, does that lead the president to be more aggressive in reopening?
Trump his strategy is going in both directions. He encourages the protesters who want to reopen the businesses in their country. But then he says he does not approve of certain things governors are doing when they reopen their states, most notably Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia a couple weeks ago. So Trump seems to be just trying to play this for short-term political gain based on whatever seems to be the right stance to take on a given day. But in general, he senses there is this, this sort of libertarian flair among people who just want to get back to normal and risk be damned.
All right. Well, as you say, we're going to find out what happens. We have a big experiment underway right now. Rick Newman.
Hey, investors. Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.